What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are back, and we always deliver the big names. Today we get to talk to UFC flyweight Maycee Barber, coming off a huge win over Karine Silva at UFC 323. Maycee, you still in Vegas?
No, I'm back home in Denver.
You don't like to soak
I
it
wish
up?
I was in Vegas though, because it is a lot warmer there.
Well, not only that, but it's just a great party town. And once the weight cuts over, the fight's over, I mean, you can really, these are some great food options, the club scene. I don't know if you're into that or a good show. It seems like a good city to call the UFC and say, extend my stay about a week.
I'm good with like a good steak, good sushi, some good food, but I'm not really like into the whole partying, drinking. It's not really my thing. So it's nice to just be back with family and just be back home.
It's probably too late for a Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I was able to enjoy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had steak and sweet potatoes, which is like everything I could really want.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I got to spend it with my coaches and my teammates. They came over to the house and we had the family there, so it was good.
When you were in the sauna or whatever method you used to cut weight, not just this time, but do you ever think to any of those cheat meals where like, oh, it's costing me an extra half hour in this hot bathtub or anything like that?
No, what I usually think of is I'm like, man, I really just want some ice water, like some ice cold water or any kind of drink. Like I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, it sounds good. And I don't even drink soda, but I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm like, what sounds good is like a really cold glass of Sprite. I'm like, that sounds amazing. And then I get done and I'm like, I have a sip of Sprite and I'm like, that does taste good, but I'm like, it does not taste nearly as good as what I was picturing in my head.
Is it
But
too sweet because the body's so pure from eating clean and drinking clean?
it really is it's just the bubbles. I mean, I know that
Uh,
what I was always taught is, like the sugar and the carbonation, like all of that combined, it just helps your body to absorb it a little bit better. But I think really just like when you're cutting weight and you're like hot and you're dehydrated, you just are like, oh, anything liquid and cold. You're like, that's what I want. So I know everybody who cuts weight can definitely attest to that.
when you were describing the feeling of I just want a cold, I had my hand ready. I was gonna fist bump you because I thought for sure you were gonna say
You're gonna
Dr.
say
Pepper.
ice cold beer. That's what you thought I was
Well,
gonna say.
that too. But when you established it was going to be a soda, I go, she looks like she's on Team Dr. Pepper. Here we go. And then you said Sprite.
Oh.
I had to play it off like I was stretching.
Oh man, nope, sorry. I
All
mean, Dr.
right,
Pepper is pretty good,
it's the
um,
best.
but no, I don't know. I never really drink a lot of soda, to be honest. I don't drink. I think I've had like one soda in the last 5 years, and it was those 3 sips right after the cut.
You know what this
5 years?
bozo likes right here?
That's probably a little of exaggeration, but I probably have
Oh,
had a
okay.
total of one whole can of soda in the last 5 years. Yeah.
You know what this bozo likes right here?
What?
RC Cola. Have you ever heard of that one?
Uh-uh.
It's like
No.
it's like it's like how do I say it? I don't know. It's not a pay-per-view. It's not a fight night. It's just kind of like, I guess, an undercard of a Dana White Contender Series in the whole description of the best soft drinks.
Oh
Mhm.
my
But
gosh.
he's passionate about it. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not very passionate. I just get it every once in a while. But when I get it, this is what happens, Maycee
You
Barber.
enjoy it.
He'll talk shit. And then when I go downstairs, there'll be like a crumbled up one that I didn't drink. Somebody drank it, and this house is not haunted. So somebody must have gone through it.
Perhaps. All right. So Macy, check this out. When you were under 21 and you were in the UFC, somebody from the UFC or your team said, "Hey, how would you like for Macy to come by the studio?" We had a studio at Mandalay Bay at the time. And of course, we were down, right?
Mhm.
However, there's a strict gaming law in Nevada that because we were on casino floor, you have to be 21 or over. And because I knowingly cover you, I knew you weren't. And so therefore, it's a big fine if something were to happen. So we had to actually turn it down. I felt terrible. But now you're 27, and I wanted to ask you, I'm sure you think you're way better now than when you were 21, but yet at that time, remember you wanted to be the youngest champ ever. So my question would be, how do you think you would have done at that age? Would you have had the maturity to handle being a champion? And obviously, since you're better now, would it have even made sense? Could you have been a champ that won and lost in her first title defense? Whereas now, as you're getting older and you've overcome so much adversity, you're better, you're wiser. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking of the same thing for Joshua Van. I wonder how it'll go. It's nice to be young. John Jones pulled it off, but is it the best idea?
Yeah, I think that the way that it played out and the way that my journey and my career has gone is exactly how it's supposed to. I mean, I've had a lot of lessons, I've had a lot of things that have happened, injuries and a couple of losses, and I've learned a lot, and I don't know if I really would want to do it any other way. Yes, I had a goal and a dream of being the youngest champion, and I was very vocal about it, and I would never take that away. Like, I'm never going to be like, oh man, I wish I didn't say that, or that was, something that I didn't believe in, because I truly believe that I could have done it. But I think that also God had other plans for me, and he wanted me to learn other lessons. And I think that as long as I stay true to myself and true to like trusting in his plan, then I'm going to be okay, and I do believe that I'm going to hold the belt. I just have to know that it wasn't in his plan that I was going to hold it and break John Jones' record. Maybe I'm meant to break other records, so that's okay with me. Doesn't mean I'm not going to chase other records. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be vocal about what I believe in. I do believe I'm going to hold the belt. I do believe I'm the best in the world. And I think that I learned a lot of other things, and it was just preparing me for something greater. So I don't know, as far as other athletes like Joshua Van and stuff, because the way that Van got the belt the other night was, I don't think it was something that he's going to be like that excited about. I mean, yes, he did get the belt, and he should be proud of that, because he did work hard, to try to earn the belt. But also I do believe that, when he said, let's run it back, is because he knows that in order to really have the belt, he has to go and take it from Pantoja, and the unforeseen circumstances and the situation that happened with Pantoja is unfortunate, and we'll see how that goes, and I believe that they have to run it back, and we'll see. But also he's hurt now, so but as far as how Van is going to handle it, it just depends on, what's inside of his heart and what he believes. And that's not for me to speak on, whether he's going to be a good champion or whether that's going to be good for him or not. Only he knows that, and only the people around him know that. And, you know, that's like I said, inside his heart and him and his character. And I like to think the best about people, and I like to believe um that as long as they stay true to themselves and what they believe and their purpose and their why in this sport and what they're going after it for, that they're going to be good, so say he goes and defends the belt and he does great, then good for him, and say he gets a rematch and he again defends the belt, great, good for him, and he has a great run as a champion, then cool. And if not, then he's going to learn a lot of lessons, and he'll come back better for it. But it'll be interesting to see.
Our guest is Maycee Barber. She's coming off a big win at UFC 323. Let me turn it over to the RC Cola spokesman, Goes, my co-host.
Maycee, so with a victory here this past weekend, do you feel like you captured even the momentum that you had going in before? You have a very nice win streak. Did it all just come flooding back out one moment for you?
Absolutely. I think that I had a lot of people like, oh, you're back in the win column. I'm like, look, I never left the win column. I just had to get back into the cage. Like, it just took me a minute to get back in there. It just was so frustrating. But to be honest, like, I've just been grinding. Like, I've never left the gym. I've never left the mentality of, believing that I'm the best in the world. I've never left the mentality of believing that I'm going to have the belt, and I've never left the dream. I've never left anything. feeling it. So it's just, there was a little bit of frustration with not being able to show the world and share it with everybody else and share it with the fans and share it with, everyone around me. Because, it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart and something that I want to share with everybody. This is a journey that, yes, is special to me, but, I want to share with the fans. I want people to follow along on the journey. I want people to share the story. I want people to see all of the grind and the things that I believe for myself and for young girls and people to see, the things that I believe I can do and hopefully inspire them. And so being able to go back into the cage and just be like, finally I get to share this with everyone, this thing that I've been like, I've been able to do it. But it felt great, but also it was like, finally I'm back where I belong, and it just felt really good. And there was a little bit of nerves going into it because I'm just like, I just like, it was more just like an anxious like feeling of like, it's been so long. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. That the anticipation of like, I can't wait to share it with everybody, but it just felt good. And it was just like, I'm back where I belong.
So obviously, a lot of us that are, or people that are going to watch this interview, they're not professional fighters, but we all can maybe relate in the fact that when you can't do something that you love for a long period of time, and when it finally comes back, it's all you want to do. You just want to hit it 100 miles an hour. That being said, like, how do you feel it's getting right back in there and doing it again? Is that on your mind? And can you maybe tell us how you believe 2026 will play out for you?
Yeah, I do feel like first is like anybody. It's not just like fighters that can relate to this because I mean, yes, fighters do understand the aspect of, when you get injured or when you get sick and then this is our job, this is the one thing that we get to do that, we love that gets taken away from us. And we're like, well, what the heck, what am I supposed to do? Like, this is our passion and this is our life and this is what we obsess over. And so when it gets taken away in a sense, it's like, well, what else am I supposed to do with my life? Like, what is my purpose? And so it is hard. But also, there's other things that I am good at and other things that I do know that God had in store for me in my life. And so I just have to hold on to that stuff. And so I feel like other people that are, maybe don't know a lot about MMA or are fight fans or aren't fight fans that watch that, anytime something gets taken away from you, it's like, don't just look at it of like, poor me, like this is happening to me and like just focusing on that one thing, which I did for a while. I was like only focusing on like the things that I couldn't do or the things that weren't working. And instead it's like, well, maybe you just need to focus on like what can you do or like what is the reason why, like what else is there in your life that like could use a little bit more focus, or what is there happening in your life that needs a little bit more attention. And I think that that's very important as well. Maybe it's your faith, maybe it's your sleep, maybe it's your recovery, maybe it's something else, and it doesn't even have to just be in fighting. It could be in other things. But then as far as my complete subject change, as far as my career in and like fighting and stuff, I've already been talking and we're looking at a quick turnaround. I told him, I'm like, look, I was already out for 21 months. I do not need to be out any longer. I'm healthy, so I wanted a quick turnaround. And so we're already looking at, dates and matchups for early 2026. So the plan would be, fight very early 2026 and then call my shot for the belt on the White House card.
That'd be nice. So
That
we
would be
talked about,
amazing.
yeah, we talked about the recapturing of the momentum. And I feel like with a streak like yours, with your reputation, you've kind of gone past the what do you have for me stage. And I think you're the person that can go, this is what I want. Did you feel that? Did you when you went in the back and you talked to maybe the matchmakers and all that? Did you have that feeling that you're pretty close to calling the rest of your shots for the rest of the year?
I mean, I think that it's a little bit of both. They've done a lot for me. The UFC has always taken great care of me and they've always treated me very well. They've always been very understanding. given the situation that happened, not this last fight, but the fight before, you know, not being able to walk out. I mean, I was a main event and I didn't get to walk out. And so that was a lot of stuff that happened. And so for them to just stick behind me and then still, you know, give a lot of faith and trust in me, and it wasn't necessarily like my fault, you know, it was a medical condition, but you know, they know what I bring to the table, and they know that when I do get to go out there, I'm going to give it everything I got, and I'm going to be the best version of myself, and I'm a phenomenal fighter, and I'm always going to go out for everything that I feel I deserve as far as like goals and dreams and wins and stuff. And so I think that I bring a lot to the table as far as a champion, as far as just a fighter goes. You know, I'm an exciting fighter to watch. I'm a fun person to watch fight in the cage. And so I know that I bring a lot to the table, but at the same time, I respect everything that they've done for me, and I appreciate everything that they've done for me. And so I'm never going to go in and be like, look, I did all this. What, you know, I'm going to call the shots. This is all about me. Because at the end of the day, we're a team, you know, I am there because of them. And I'm also there to do a job, and I want to make them proud. So whenever I get to talk to them, it's like, how can we do this together? It's not, I want to do this and this is all about me. It's, how are we going to do this together? So and they've always done that with me, you know. So Nick and Dana and Hunter, they've always treated me very well and very fairly. So I owe, you know, all the thanks in the world to them.
When you look at the champ, I'm sure you've had time to reflect and play those fights out in your head. What do you see? Are you excited about a matchup like that? And what are the types of things that you see when eventually you get that call?
Um, that's a good question. You know, I was so focused on on my fight that I haven't even sat down to think about it really, you know, other than I see a fighter who is she's been around for a long time. She's on the decline, in my opinion, and I'm on the rise. Um, I'm hungry. I am chasing my goals. I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm just I'm hungry for this belt, and there's nothing that's going to stop me. And I don't care how good she is or how good she thinks she is. I'm coming for it. And so when I sit down with the team, we're going to go down and like dissect her a lot more. And we've always paid attention, you know, we've always very much focused on, you know, what we need to do. But at the forefront, we had to focus on Karine Silva. And so that's what we did. So now that we are done, we can sit down and either focus on, you know, the next opponent, or we can sit down and really focus on Valentina. But she's beatable. You know, it's been proven that she's beatable. I don't think that she's the same fighter that she was when she first started. And I also believe that I'm not the same fighter that I was when I first started. So I've gotten so much better, and I do believe that I'm in my prime, and that I am coming into a spot where I'm unbeatable.
Maycee, respectfully, when she fought Talia Santos, you know, a lot of us thought what you thought. Could the champ now be in a decline? And she survived it and won. Then she had the Grasso trilogy where she did lose, had a draw, and then came back and won. But you haven't been impressed with her comeback? I mean, I hear you. Like, she probably plateaued, but do you really see a decline there? And if so, why do you say so?
Um, you know, I think that it's just that she's just getting older as well. You know, it's
Okay.
not necessarily she's not as good of a fighter. It's just she's getting older. And so I think that there's other things that play into a factor. So it's not just, oh, she's not good. She's still good. She's still just as technical. She's still just as has the same IQ. You know, it's just there's other things that play a factor, and there's also, it's less about her and also more about me. You know, I've gotten way better, and I've improved a lot in my game, and I've improved in the striking, the wrestling, the grappling. I've improved speed wise. I've improved mentally and physically. And so there's just so many more aspects where I feel like I have the advantage, and I'm just coming into that time where it's, she's on the way out and I'm on the way in.
We're at 20 minutes. You have time for two more questions?
Yeah.
Just making sure. All right. What did you hear about? I'm sure there's been a reaction to your desire to fight Alexa Grasso. I asked because if it wasn't a serious injury that took her out of the fight against Rose, they are going to Mexico on February 28th, and that kind of sounds like maybe where they could feature her. And so my question to you would be, have you heard anything about how long she'll be out? And if so, would you be interested in fighting her in Mexico at the end of February?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything yet. Like I said, I'm just now, telling them that I'm ready to fight. I want to turn around fast. And I've been calling for a rematch with Alexa for a long time, so there's no denying that I would want that fight. And we'll see what happens. I mean, February sounds amazing, and I've already been calling for the rematch with Grasso, so we'll see what happens. I mean, if she's injured, we'll see. I don't know what the injury is, and so like you said, like if she had to pull out with Rose, then it depends on, was it like an injury? Was it like a cut? Did she get cut in the head?
Right.
Like something like that, because if it's like an actual injury and she has to have surgery, it could be like she's out for a while. If it's not, then we'll see, like, she could be, heal for a couple of weeks and then she's good and then she could take a fight. So it really just depends on the type of injury that she has, and the timeline and how she's feeling, and what Mick and Dana and Hunter are all thinking, and if it makes sense to them, and what everyone's thinking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and my last question is, I've seen you post on your Instagram. I was checking it out before the interview. You go to Avalanche games. I've seen you. It looks like maybe a first pitch at a Rockies game. How come there's no Denver Broncos swag on you,
Oh
or
my
you
gosh.
there? They're on a roll. Is
We
that
have
not your
been
squad?
talking about going to the Broncos game for so long.
This
It's
is the
just
season,
been
Maycee
like,
Barber.
I
They're
know,
incredible
and we
this year.
almost went to the game at the Raiders Stadium in Vegas, and we didn't. But my boyfriend Oscar, he's been saying it. He's like, oh, I want to go to the Broncos game. We got to go to the Broncos game. We got to go to the Broncos game. So I'm sure that in the next couple weeks, whenever the game is, we'll go.
You got a jersey?
I don't know if I do. I'm sure he has he has so many jerseys. It's ridiculous, and I steal all of his clothes. So,
If you
yeah.
want to go old school, there's Terrell Davis, John Elway, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
And if you want to go more modern, I guess Bo Nix is their quarterback. He's having a good year, but their defense is brilliant. But I was scrolling and scrolling. I got to like the last 2 years. I go, she must not be a Broncos fan or something, because I don't
No,
see
we
anything
we
here.
just haven't been able to make the time. Like we just have been, camp and everything, and so no, we have talked about it a lot. So we're planning on going.
All right, so you are a
Stay
Broncos
tuned.
fan.
I'll make some posts. Don't worry.
That's clear. And the last thing, I said 2 questions. I asked them. I'll just leave you with a statement. One day, I hope the UFC does a women's fight in the Hall of Fame for the fight wing. The one against you and Hebus was awesome, man. It was like 2 years
Oh,
ago,
thank you.
but I loved it, man. It was, had some blood and it just had its moments. She had some moments, you had some moments, but you guys went to war. It's one of my favorites ever.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for the time today,
Thank
and
you, guys.
congrats on your win. Enjoy it. Enjoy the holidays, and go get a Broncos jersey and go enjoy the game. You guys are having a great season.
I will. Thank you.
Take care.